In this episode, we're exploring several inspiring homes in Australia, South Africa, and Tasmania. Hi, and welcome to our channel. Let's visit Tinderwood House, designed by Metropole architects. Tinderwood is located on a gentle hilltop that overlooks the Indian Ocean in the Zimbali Coastal Forest Estate, Ballito, South Africa. Approaching the entrance to the home, a double-volume steel and timber louver screen framed by a monolithic travertine marble-clad element encase a shallow water feature. This arrangement functions as a transparent veil that controls the aggressive afternoon sunlight that bears down on the building from the west, protecting a sheer 5 meters high wall of glass and transitioning your arrival from the hard-surfaced parking court to the cool and luxurious tones of the interior and sea view beyond. A gallery-type double-volume entrance characterized by a sculptural staircase, walnut cladding, and striking artwork combine to intentionally create a boutique hotel-type atmosphere. The vision for the interior was to create luxurious contemporary spaces with a mid-century modern influence. The palette of materials and finishes include marble floors, backlit onyx features, walnut cladding, brass inlays, and antique mirrors that give the home a timeless appeal. Great attention to detail was given to the design of both the architectural and feature lighting in terms of the placement and selection of the fittings. At night, the lighting shows off all the interior features, materials, and focal points and transforms the entire home into a delight for the senses. Several carefully considered pieces of art and sculpture have been located throughout the home, testament to the owner's love and appreciation of art. These selected pieces enrich the experience of the already lovingly crafted spaces, adding a layer of visual interest and complexity. Meet Palm House, designed by Metropole Architects. The design is based on 3 rectangular forms arranged in such a way so as to create the sense of opposing movement. The first rectangular form is grounded in the site and oriented on an east-west axis. The second and third rectangular forms are elevated above and positioned side by side one another in a north-south axis, one heading with purpose towards the ocean, with the other having its sight set on the golf course fairway in the opposite direction. The sense of movement on the upper level is created by intentional horizontal lines and cantilevers projected towards their respective targets. The point at which the 3 rectangular forms intersect in a transparent double-volume space provides the perfect position for the sculptural staircase. This curved vertical element forms the heart of the design and is intended to be the primary focus on approach. The particular orientation and characteristics of the site presented a challenge in that there was no back end to the site, leaving all 4 elevations vying for center stage. Hence, the back of the house services had to be tastefully camouflaged behind curved stone walls and exciting structural acrobatics unfolding above. With the location being a coastal forest residential estate, the potential views from the home would always be competing with existing foliage and neighboring houses. This contest was ultimately won by rotating the axis of the home at 45 degrees to both the road frontage and adjacent properties, resulting in unobstructed views of both the ocean and golf course. Meet Contemplation House, designed by Virginia Kerridge architect. Set in a magical setting in the hills of Byron Bay, the house has an extraordinary view of the sea and sky and sits in a private rural and rainforest setting. All seasons of nature are observed firsthand by this house on the hill. The owners are very interested in the philosophy of indigenous peoples, and these philosophies are reflected in the design. Among ideas explored was the idea of the life of a man being a circle from childhood to childhood. Another was the idea of connectivity with nature. The house is planned in a U shape around a central garden area. This affords a protected area when winds blow from the northeast. A contemplation space, which is at the core of the house, has also become the heart of the house. It's a space to sit and just to be, a source of stillness and quietness, a place to reflect and think. This sense of contemplation seems to infuse the whole house. Outlooks out to garden areas occur on both the northern and southern sides and all around as the garden intersects with the house. Architects have used a palette of materials that relate to the local bushland area. Each wing is easily accessed from the main entry, and the central garden, as well as being a focal point, becomes a shortcut from the living room to the children's play area, outside circular deck, and study. The bedroom wing, which is on the southern side, looks both east towards the ocean and west. Recycled materials, grayed off hardwood, have been used throughout for the entire cladding. Internally recycled blackbutt wall cladding and floors are used everywhere. The materials have a tactile quality that makes you want to touch and feel the surfaces. Not only do they have a nurturing quality to them, but they also reflect ideas of connection to land and life itself. Let's visit House at Otago Bay, designed by Topology Studio on a lazy bend of Tasmania's Tinderwood, the River Derwent. The site slopes sleepily both to the high water mark that defines the western boundary and to the freshwater lagoon to the north. From the waterfront to the road, the site is embedded within rock. A delicate layer of topsoil supports indigenous grasses, plants, and she-oaks close to the water and larger eucalyptus on the higher ground closer to the road. The living space is perched high, drawing the water close and accentuating the drama of living at the water's edge. In contrast, the lower floor is embedded in the rock, its outlook sheltered as the ground falls away to the water. The terrace was inspired by the remains of a ruined farmhouse embedded on steep, rocky ground overlooking the Amalfi Coast. Materials were selected to endure a harsh environment and to resist bushfire. Locally sourced masonry has been custom manufactured to complement the tones of the setting. External timber is hardwood, terraces are Australian bluestone. Consideration of sun angles determined the colonnade depth to exclude summer sun. Low-angled winter sun warms the polished slab, supplemented by underfloor heating and a combustion fire that manages site fuel loads. Thermal mass, insulation, and double glazing maintain stable temperatures throughout the year. Refined geometry and a restrained palette of materials result in a home that is precise, yet textured and warm. This project is born of and belongs to this site. Thanks for the visit. Please consider subscribing and turning on the notification bell to receive our periodic updates and be a part of the community if you haven't done so yet. Stay tuned.